Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I have a pretty cool overview for you. I'm not going to do a full review of these, but you've probably seen from the title, you kind of already know what it is. There are a lot of people who have done full reviews and everything on the SC5000 players. But today I really just kind of wanted to do a overview of everything, show a little bit about what's new in the version 1.22 firmware for these. Since most of the reviews that were done initially when the players came out, things are a little bit different now here on the version 1.22. A lot of really good things, a lot of things that I love, and things that'll help take you guys to the next level with these players if you have them. If you don't have them, right now when I'm recording this, let's see, it's end of November here, Denon is having a sale on these, which is actually the reason that I bought these. If you're not familiar with what Denon has, they are offering a discount on these, which is almost half price on the SC5000 players and the X1800 mixer. So huge sale on these, which is what helped me be able to purchase something like this, and to be able to take my DJing and my professionalism to the next level with these. So let's take a look real quick. I'll talk to you about them and we'll go through everything. Alright, so here they are. These are the two SC5000 players and the X1800 mixer. Both the SC5000 players are the same, as you can see here. They are a matching pair. The X1800 mixer is here in the center. Now I will point out I do have these in a Odyssey case. Now this is a coffin case, so it is a one-piece case. This case is actually meant for the Pioneer CDJ 2000 models, and then their DJM series of mixers. However, these do fit. They take a little bit of a foam modification, but there are not a lot of cases out right now for the Denon Prime series. There's a couple out there, but the major carriers have come out with some models, but not everybody has, so there's not a whole lot of choices for them yet. I wanted a coffin case because I wanted to be able to take these players out to a wedding and stuff like that and have a clean look. I don't have to have individual players sitting out with wires hanging out behind them and stuff like that. I wanted a nice clean look, and so I'll kind of go through a little bit of how I have my coffin here set up, because I have done a little bit of customization to make this exactly what I need. So let's take a look at the players real quick, and we'll take a look at the mixer as well. Like I said, we're not going to go through every feature, but we're going to go through some of the main things, some of the updates in 1.22, and we'll see how well these things play. Alright, so we'll take a look at the deck here individually. This is the first deck of mine. This is on my right side here. As you can see, I still have the covers and stuff on this because these are still that new. I've had them about a week or so, been playing with them a lot. I actually just played a gig with them last week. But these were not, actually didn't play with these individual ones. I played with my business partner. He has a set as well, and so we used his for that gig because mine were in the coffin. So anyway, so this is the player. We have a 7-inch LCD screen up here. This is a full touch screen. Some standard buttons here on the left hand side here, your source buttons, shortcuts for changing colors and things like that. These platters, as you can see, are RGB platters. The ring around them is RGB. Pop out of that. And then your basic stuff you would expect to see on a deck. You've got your performance pads down here, which also include 8 hot cues, loops, rolls, your slicer, and then parameter changes here. Pitch fader on the side with a light to indicate you are in the middle there. Play cue, beat jump, track skip, so you have multiple tracks in your playlist, stuff like that. You can actually scroll through them with this. We have our loop controls up here a little bit farther up. The loop controls on these is awesome. So one of the cool things I like about it is the auto loop feature, which if you just tap the button, it starts an auto loop at the value you have selected up here in engine, which right now is 4 beats. And then of course you can just do your manual in and out loop here as well. Status indicators for your media status, if you have a USB plugged in, SD card, and then of course network. These are networked between themselves, so I can share media between the two. Alright, and that is the basics of the SC5000 player hardware wise and what's on it here. So we'll move over here to the X1800 mixer. This mixer is an incredible mixer. I've been using it now for, like I said, about a week, and so many features. Everything's software driven on the inside, so tons of expandability for later on. This thing is great. So first you have your basic level faders here for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like I said, these work great. Sorry about the refresh rate on the camera, so these lights aren't really flickering, it's just the camera doing that. Flex fader down here, this thing is awesome. If you guys like clicky faders, this is your one. Excellent crossfader on this thing, real loose, just an excellent feel of that crossfader. Well, as we're on the crossfader, your crossfader contour is here. It is fully adjustable, so if you want like a scratch style crossfader, or if you want to back that down to more of a full feel crossfader, you can do that there. You can also do a little bit of that with your channel fader curve as well, how you want the channel faders to feel as you bring them up and down with that. Crossfader start and of course channel fader start. You have those abilities. Those are typically things you don't see on a system like this. You see those on like controllers, but because all these pieces are networked together, you can do that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that networking here in just a few minutes. Your sweep effects are over here. Now on your DJM mixers for Pioneer, you have these your filter and your effects on the same knob. So the DJM series would just have this one knob, and then you could select what that knob does here. This actually has two separate ones. So this has a separate filter and the sweep effects, which you have dub echo, noise, washout, and gate. So your basic sweep effects, and these work really well. Excellent feel, excellent sound to them as well. But you also have the ability to run your filter independently of that as well. So you can see my filter starts blinking here, and the filter starts to be engaged. You can disable filter completely with the button here if you'd like to do so. Moving on up your basic EQ section, you have your input gains here, and your high, mid, and low. These are adjustable. When I say adjustable, these are the frequencies that these work with are adjustable. You can actually adjust these in the menu, which we'll talk about in 1 second. But so these aren't hardware set, which is really, really nice. Up on the top here, you have just your input selection, whether or not it's a digital input, line input, phono input, USB, which has dual USB inputs right here. And then you can choose which USB it is right above that channel. And then, of course, DVS if you're going to be running the Prime Series vinyl or any other vinyl into that. This has DVS capability. Mic input here, you have two of them actually. The mic 1 is up here on top, mic 2 is in the back. You have on-offs here for them respectively, and then of course the talk over is here as well. So that's another thing you don't see too often on major series mixers is the talk over feature. So if I have this enabled and I'm doing a wedding by myself or something like that, if I have music playing on a deck, I enable talk over. When I start talking, it detects I start talking on the mic here, and it'll duck down the music in the background and bring it back up when I'm done talking. Very nice feature. High and low EQ for that mic, so if you're running direct out of here to a system with subs and stuff, you need to roll the low end off on your mic, you can do that here. Once again, that is adjustable in software. Headphone section down here, you do have a split headphone option here. If you want to split Q your headphones, and then your standard Q master mix here knob, and then your level knob. And of course, 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch jacks here for both sets of headphones. Master level, pan's nice if you just check to make sure you get your left and right correct on your PA setup. That's a nice feature to have. Effects, this effects section is pretty big here. I'm not going to go through everything on this because, well, I don't have time, and two, there's a lot of people who have done that already. But a few, like I said, the cool features here. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on here. Let's see if it will. May have a hard time since that's an OLED. There we go, an OLED screen there. All right, so we can hit the utility here. A lot of things are adjustable in this. Like I said, your EQ, your crossover points, what type your EQ is, if it's a full cut, stuff like that. You can adjust all that in here. You have your microphone settings, your microphone gains. You can adjust here independently. So that was headphone. Microphone here. You can adjust the EQ points, stuff like that. All directly in here in the utility menu. I apologize for that being out of focus. I may not have enough light in here for this thing to stay in focus. Of course, advanced audio settings in here as well. You can adjust what your master out is. You can adjust a master out limiter. You can adjust your booth output. DVS settings all in here, crossfader settings, effects settings, things like that. You can adjust that all here in the menu, which is awesome. On down is your effects. So now that I'm in the main one, you can see our effects here. Scroll through the effects, if it will focus. Come on now. Alright, let's try this again. So here's your effects section. Now that I'm up here, you can go through your different effects. There's a bunch of different effects here, including ascend and return if you use external effects. But all of these are in here. You can play with these. These all have their own time, and they are tempo synced to the decks themselves, which you can actually see the little engine logo there. That means it is synced. And of course the engine logo up here, you can disable that so that they don't sync up and it goes independently, but of course it makes sense to have them synced. Right now you will see that there's one effect that doesn't work, because this mixer, I have it set currently to output at 96 kilohertz. So this is a full 96 kilohertz sound card in this thing. So that's a very nice feature. However, we do lose one thing. And notice the backwards L there, because this was a effect pioneered by Laid Back Luke. So all your effects are in here. Your effects time can be set down here as well. You have an encoder for the effects time, so you can see right now it's set for 8 beats, 16, 32. So you can adjust how fast your effect's working there per beat. On down, you can adjust your the effects frequency. See, like the phaser right now is set for frequency for all bands, but you can crank it up. You can adjust it up to the higher, and just to affect the lower as well. Below that is you force your effects on and off, and of course your wet dry level, and then the touch strip for the time divisions here on your effects. All right, so that's the basis of the X1800. And that's pretty much it for this setup here. These players, of course, as you probably know by now, are dual layer. So you have 2 layers here. So this is in effect almost like a 4-deck system. You can play 4 tracks at once if you want to. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. I am using the digital outputs on these to run into here. It just made sense since, I mean, why convert it to analog and then back to digital and then back to analog again? Digital output of these, digital in of these, and then of course analog out of this to my PA or whatever I'm using at the time. Alright, so just I'm not going to go through all the connections on the back and stuff like that, because there's plenty of videos out there that kind of show what the inputs and outputs of these are. But I will say that I do have it customized a little bit. I have a right angle power adapter here to fit in here, because like I said, this case is meant for the DJM series of mixers, and this X1800 is a little bit longer than your DJM series because of the added sleep effects sections and stuff like that. So I had to use a right angle power adapter, and then I've got right angle XLR adapters down there for my main outputs, which run over here into the back of this one where I can output. Same with my booth output. It has XLRs as well through some adapters and stuff there. X1800 has the switch built in, so the network switch between the two is built into this, so they are networked between each other. So let's take a look at one of these decks. We'll get this thing opened up here and get something loaded in here. Alright, so here we are with the SC5000 here. Now, in the back of this right now, I have I don't know if we can see it, probably see the light down there, a 1 terabyte hard drive. So one of the things that I wanted to be able to use these players for was if I get to a wedding, I want to be able to use these for everything. So as you know, my primary business here is weddings. But I also do EDM events, I do other things as well, but my primary moneymaker is weddings. So I wanted these to be able to, I wanted a system that would be able to be used for both weddings and for like EDM events, things like that. So that's how I ended up with these. But one of the things that I wanted to specifically mention was, of course, as you probably know from the other reviews and stuff like that, that you can analyze on the fly with these, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. But one of the things that I wanted was to be able to have my entire library with me all the time. So if I'm at an EDM event, I can just take a small flash drive with me and plug it in, but I also, when I get to a wedding, I want to be able to have all of my stuff available, ready to go. So the biggest thing for me was coming from a computer system, I could always take, and search the hard drive at any point in time, like I used Virtual DJ. I could search the hard drive at any point in time, find a specific song if I had a request. I have a huge library of songs, so I didn't have them all in specifically in the playlists and stuff like that in Virtual DJ. So I wanted to be able to search. So Virtual DJ is awesome because like when you open up a folder, it indexes it. So then you could take and you can search that index. So you can search really quickly. You can find tracks really quickly. I didn't have that luxury, I guess you would say, with Serato and like Rekordbox and stuff like that. I felt like their search wasn't as robust and as efficient as Virtual DJ's search, and that's one of the main reasons I stayed with Virtual DJ for so long. But these, I wanted to be able to have that same kind of feel to them. I wanted to be able to just search a track, find it really quickly, and then load it in and go. I didn't want to have to if I was doing this with CDJs, I would have to have everything exported onto Rekordbox. Have everything exported specifically for the CDJs, and it wasn't going to be effective. Or I would have to use Serato and HID mode, which, if I'm doing that, why do I have CDJs? I can just get a cheaper controller, do the exact same thing. Now, yeah, of course, the CDJs will go standalone on their own and so forth, but it's kind of out of the realm of, with reliability of these controllers anymore, it's kind of out of the realm of what I would need anyway. So, cool thing about these is I can take these, I have a hard drive inside it right now. That hard drive plugged into the back of it, USB 3.0, and let's take a look here. Let's see if I have everything that I need. Alright, so I'm going to do my best to keep this in focus. I know that the camera hasn't been wanting to focus on these, maybe because of my light and so much like here. So I'm going to tap the source button here, and as we see here, you'll see my hard drive. It does tell me actually which USB port it is. It's in, which is in the upper rear here. I'm going to tap it. It's going to ask me if I want to load my profile. So profiles we can discuss later, but profiles allow me to set things like my ring colors, how my BPM is displayed, how my key is displayed, things like that, just utility stuff. So I'm going to hit yes on that, load that in there, and here we are. So right now I'm in the crate view, and I don't have any crates set up on here, so I won't go through that. But before I start working on this one, let's go over here to the other one. We're going to tap the source button here. Now, mind you that the hard drive is plugged into that one right there. There are no hard drives plugged into this at all. Nothing in the front here, no USBs down here at all. Nothing in the back, USB wise. So everything is on that other player over there. But because of the networking, as you can see here on the status here, no USB status because there's nothing plugged in here. But it does show network status, so that means I am connected to this one, where this one has both network and USB. So on this one here, you'll see my source. Get out of the light here. Of course, it looks like exactly the same. Upper rear. Notice it's on player 2. Notice this is player 1. So this tells me that it is on player 2, and it tells me where it's at. And the little icon there shows me it is a network. So we'll tap that. And then this is going to work exactly like that other one over there. We'll just hit yes to load in my profile. And then it is updating real quick, because it does have to pull the index over and the database over. So it'll take just a second for that. And there we are. Now we're completely synced up. It has the database over here cached, so that when I search, it'll all be over here. So now it's ready to go. So I have prepped these, of course, in Engine Prime ahead of time, but we'll tap over here in my playlists here. Let's see, let's choose, well, we're talking about wedding, so let's go ahead and choose my wedding. I have some sub-playlists here. Let's go to dancing. So this is my main playlist for dancing here. All kinds of different stuff in here, from, new to old, stuff like that. I'm going to try to pick a track here real quick that I don't think is going to get me flagged for copyright. Oh man, I probably don't have any options. Let's just pick a Michael Bublé song, so Sway. Pick that one, tap it in, load it in, and here we go. We have the track loaded in. So, I'm going to do just a couple things here real quick. Say I get a request, and it's not in my main dancing folder here. So like I said, this is the folder that I go through all the time to help me through my weddings. This has the stuff that I would normally play at a wedding in this. So I would say probably 90% of my wedding is going to be played out of this folder here. If I get a request, then I'll have to go outside of this folder if I don't have it in it. So one of the cool things about the engine here is I can tap the search feature here, and tap up here. I get a full keyboard here. So I'm just going to search Nelly, just as a random something to choose. Nelly, enter, and here we go. Everything that's tagged with Nelly here, whether it be the artist or even in the song, it will show up here. So I have the ability to go through. Somebody gives me a request, I can search it real quick, load it in. So this song here has not been indexed, not been analyzed, so you will see it analyze it on the fly, but it doesn't matter. I can still go ahead and play it and it's going to start playing. So while it's analyzing, I can still play the song. I would just have to match the BPM up by ear and stuff like that. But even still, that didn't take very long at all to analyze. So if I'm playing another song, I have time to let this analyze for a second, let it get the BPM, let it go. You know, set a cue if I need to, you know, whatever. So I have that ability. So that was the main thing that I wanted, was to be able to have somebody walk up, give me a request, and be able to search it really quickly, and then I'd search for B-U-B-L as part of Bublé, and of course I'm going to get all of Michael Bublé's stuff here, which is awesome. That's a major thing for me, because I wanted to be able to take these to a wedding and not have to have my computer there with me. Because if I buy something like this, I want to be able to use them everywhere. So weddings, for me, I have to have that search feature. So if I have a weird request, something like that, then I have to be able to search for it really quickly in my library. Now, the next question that's probably going to come up is, okay, what if I don't have the song in my library and it hasn't been analyzed by Engine? Or hasn't been not analyzed, but put into Engine, so it's indexed with Engine. Well, my solution for that was, well, number one, it's not going to be very often because I have a massive library. I'm trying to think, right now on that hard drive, 25,000, 30,000, maybe more, 30,000 songs all input into Engine. Now, they're not all analyzed. So I did that on purpose. I didn't want to put all those things in there, analyze them all, have a huge database because of all that waveforms and stuff like that it pulls in when it analyzes it. I'm only going to analyze the ones that I need. There's no sense in analyzing a song that I'm never, ever going to play at a wedding. Maybe a one-off here or there, but like if I play it once, it'll analyze it, I'll have it analyzed, it'll be there forever. So I had kind of the best of both worlds with that. So if I do have a song, though, that I don't even have at all, which is a rarity, my solution for that was, well, I usually have my laptop with me anyway. I'm going to have a laptop set up for lighting anyway. So why not have, you know, Engine running on a... or I don't even need to have Engine because this will pull in raw files. But if I just have a computer that I can connect to the internet, download the file, throw it on a flash drive. It can just be the raw audio file thrown right onto a flash drive. I can take that, I can open that up in the SC5000, it'll analyze it, and I can play it. I can categorize it later on and stuff like that, but for the purpose of the requests and stuff like that, I can get it on there, I can get it analyzed, get it done. So that's my good solution for that. So other than that, I mean, that was the main things I wanted to talk about. That's one of the main things that has really improved with the 1.22 is the ability to search, handle these bigger databases. And of course, all of this works exactly the same over here. It is a slight touch slower. So I'm just going to N-E-L-L-Y, enter. But I mean, that was still almost instant. So it's not like it was that much slower. If I picked something that had maybe a bunch more tracks or something like that, an artist or something like that, then it's possible that I would see a little bit more latency. But I mean, as you saw there, as soon as I hit enter, it was probably less than a second that it showed up with all the results in here. So let's search for, I'm going to search Bruno. Sorry, there we go. And as you saw, it was near instant. Here's all of Bruno's songs. You'll notice I have a lot of duplicates, and that is due to my lack of library maintenance under normal circumstances. So I do have a lot of songs that are duplicated, especially mainstream ones. As you see, 24 Karat Magic here. I also have a couple different remixes here, but a couple of them like this one, and this one here, promo only. These are going to be, and radio edit. These are all going to be the same. So, you know, that happens. Even with the best of us, we can't all win. So the next thing that's really cool that I'm going to feature on this is the prepare list. So this has been around for a while, but the prepare list is excellent when you're dealing with weddings. So I'm going to go to my playlist here. I'm going to go to, weddings, dancing, and say I'm scrolling down through here, and I find, say I wanted to do Jump Around by House of Pain. I don't want to play it right now, but I know I want to play it later, and I don't want to forget about it. So one of the things we can do is swipe left, and you'll see it says prepare. I'll swipe it to the left, and what that's going to do is that's going to put that into the prepare list over here. So we'll tap the prepare list here. There it is. So I can do that with multiple tracks. So I can go back over here to my thing and say I want to say, here's Uptown Funk. We'll just prepare that list. Matchbox 20 Overjoyed, we'll prepare that. So those are like three I saw on my list as I was scrolling down for something else. And so I was like, hey, I remember I want to play that next, or soon at least. So now I can go to my prepare list, and there they are. Cool thing about this is when I load it in, it loads in. Here's my song. All right, play, whatever. Say I played the song. When I go back to my prepare list, it's no longer in there. So I can go in ahead of time and swipe over some prepared stuff I want to play, and it'll work. It'll put it into a list. I won't forget it, and then once I play it, it's gone. So I don't have to worry about think, oh, did I play that one or not? I wanted to play it, but did I play it? I don't have to worry about that. So that's a nice feature. Other than that, these do have record box import. So one of the things I did with my EDM stuff is I had a flash drive, of course, prepared to a record box, since I've used CDJs a bit, and I didn't want to have to completely redo that thing because I had cues set, where I wanted them. So I don't have a record box prepared flash drive that's not already been taken care of with Engine, but what you can do is you can plug that flash drive into these players, and it'll prop up with a little prompt saying, hey, do you want to import this database into Engine? You just say yes. And what it'll do is it'll pull all the metadata for those tracks, including your titles, your artists, all your cue points, any loops or any saved memory points. It'll pull all of those in the player itself. It'll do that. It'll create an Engine folder on the flash drive, your record box flash drive, and you'll be able to use it almost right away. The one caveat to that is it does not pull the waveforms or the BPMs. So if you have a record box prepared flash drive, you plug this thing in, when you load the track, it'll have your cues there, and you can use those cues. You can use them right away, but it still has to analyze the track, which only takes a couple seconds a piece. But you can't go in there, load one, and be ready to quick mix in 3 seconds, because you got to let that track and the next track completely analyze. One solution, plug it in, let it import everything in the player itself, then take that flash drive over to your computer with Engine, Control A, the whole playlist you have there, right click analyze, it'll analyze them all on the computer. As soon as it's done, it's a lot faster on the computer. As soon as it's done, you can plug it back in here, everything will be ready to go. So transitioning from record box to these was a matter of a couple minutes, I would say. Everything was still there, all the cues were there, all the saved memory loops, everything like that was all there. So I didn't have to do anything new. So that was cool. Other than that, one of the cool things you can do as well is you can customize your center logo. There's videos on how to do that, but you just got to create you a 600 by 600 logo on the computer, get your spacings kind of set how you want them, and then put it as a PNG file onto the player itself, or onto the flash drive you have, or hard drive in my case here, and your logo shows up. So that's kind of a cool thing. If somebody walks up to the booth and is talking to you, you'll have your logo right there in the center of the platters. So other than that, I'm not going to go through everything else, because there's tons of people out there who have reviewed how the loops work, how the mixer works, all the different features of this. Like I said, the main improvements on that, the newest firmware, are the record box import and database handling between all this stuff. Before, you could only have, I don't remember how many tracks it was, but 7,000 tracks was all the max you could have to be able to network a flash drive. Well, that's changed. They've improved that. Now, like I said, I don't know how many tracks I have on my hard drive here, but I've got a lot. Between all my weddings and stuff like that, my top 40 lists here, they're just massive. I also have all my old weddings in here too. So everything I've ever played at a wedding that's not already in one of the other categories is also in here for me to be able to reference to and from. So, but that's pretty much it. That's the basic. Like I said, it's just an overview. I didn't want to go into a deep review of these because I don't have time. But just an overview of the SC5000 players and how they can work for you at a wedding or something like that. So you're not completely abandoning your laptop with these. It's not like you're abandoning your laptop. If I'd have got CDJs, then I would have had to pretty much feel like I abandoned my laptop because I wouldn't have the searching features and things like that that are in here. And like I said, these will work with raw files too. So you don't have to have imported it into Engine Prime to be able to use the file at all. You can take a raw MP3 audio file or an AAC or a WAV, in this, open up the folder view, go into your deep folders, there's folder view. These are all the raw folders I have on the hard drive. It's indexing them here, Christmas here. I'll just click this one. These are all the raw WAV files here. So if I hadn't imported these into Rekordbox, you can just select this, load it in, it'll load it and let you play it. So you can do it right there. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm going to leave this video to here right now. If you guys have questions, I'll do some more with these. I'll do some videos of me playing, using them, and performing with them and stuff like that. I just haven't had time to do them yet. Of course, they're still brand new. I'm still learning on them some. There's a lot here. The performance pads, things like that, those are awesome. So be sure to check out some other videos. If you're considering buying these, check out some of the other videos on people using them and performing with them and how they work and stuff like that. But these newer firmware updates on these things, I mean, they're solid. They work great. So I'll leave this video at that. So if you liked it, please like and subscribe. I appreciate all you guys' support on the subscriptions. I'm almost up to, I believe, 300 subscribers. So for me, that's a big deal. I appreciate you guys, every one of you that actually watches the videos. I figured this one, you know, get some extra traffic from people who weren't subscribed. So if you're not, please subscribe. I could appreciate your support. Other than that, there they are. The SC5000 Prime Series in an Odyssey case. If you are of smaller stature or can't handle lifting very heavy things, the coffin case is not the way to go at all. This thing weighs, I think, over 100 pounds at this point. So yeah, just buckle up if you end up going with the coffin case. I liked it because it gave me a cleaner look, but it's a two-person job to lift in and out of a venue and stuff like that. So just be prepared for that one. If you can't lift heavy stuff or handle that kind of stuff, go with individual cases. You can get some cases that have some kind of blocks and stuff like that on the front that you can keep from people seeing your wires and stuff like that. But so just be careful if you get the all-in-one. So all right, thank you. I will see you guys next time.